only the Chancery and those of us who are here, but for all of you who make up the Diocese of Sioux City. We want today to take a brief amount of time to refresh and update you on what's going on with Together as One. And we know that nothing worth anything is ever accomplished without prayer. And so first and foremost, I ask you as the leaders of your parish, pastor and lay leaders, to pray for the success of Together as One. We're trying to do the work of the Lord in our diocese, and all of us who work for the diocese are called to evangelize and spread the good news of Jesus Christ, that we are loved and saved. And that's what Together as One is all about, for all of us to realize that together. And so we come together today to rekindle the fire of our mission, sharing the good news of Jesus Christ. I also want to once again highlight the role of pastors. This campaign in your parish will not be successful without the pastor's involvement. And so thank you, brothers, again for saying yes. We're in this and we're going to make it work. We're going to reach our goal. And for those of you who know how it works, if you reach your goal and you've already set a higher parish goal, all of that money is yours to do with as you wish. And so Susan will talk a little bit more about that. But pastors, I just want to thank you for, again, accepting this role as your role is in the parish. You cannot do it alone. You have enough on your plate, especially with the COVID virus. So that's why you have asked the lay people around you to help you out. And what really your pastor and I am asking you is to respond to the call of the Lord from your own baptism, and to say that I too need to go out and evangelize and share the good news in my role as a lay person. All of us have that role. And so your involvement in this campaign is one way to do something for others that you might not be able to do directly. Caring for our neighbor means a lot of things. But this is a way that you can encourage your fellow parishioners to really respond to the needs of the whole diocese. And so thank you for helping your pastor, assisting him in the work that he has to do. As you know, every parish will receive a goal, and the local goal, like I said, can be set by you if you want to go over that. This is a great way to fundraise for your parish. Now, we all know that COVID has changed everything, and parish giving is down. All of you know that better than any of us. And I know there are many, many challenges. This year is going to be extraordinarily important for us to do what we're called to do and continue the work of the Lord in our diocese. So it's going to be difficult. There's no question about it. Again, I ask for your prayers and your support. We here at the Chancery have taken time to put together, at least Susan and her office, a guidebook to help you along the way, and she's going to talk about that in a couple of minutes. But I just want to thank you for your willingness to do this. It's part of your job, it's part of my job, but it's something that we need to be really committed to, even in these difficult times. It's a chance for us to share with our parishioners that the work of the Lord is the work of all of us together, not just the Chancery, not just your parish, but everybody together. So thank you. I don't know if you have any questions right off the bat, but if you do, I'm more than pleased to respond to them. You might have more questions after Susan kind of goes through what we're going to talk about today. But again, thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Bishop. I'm actually going to turn it over to Royce Raniger, who's going to talk through some of the financial information, and then I'll end it then. end the call talking about the parish guides, as Bishop mentioned, and some marketing information that will help you along the way. So, Royce?
Thank you. Oh, gosh. Thank you, Susan. I always wonder whether I got my mute on or not on. I think I screwed up and didn't turn it off. So you heard some background noise, Bishop, that was me probably. So anyway, yes, this hasn't changed much. This is pretty static. Our goals of 1.65 million have not changed for the past I guess 7 years. Of that, 938,000 does stay with the diocese, and the balance, if everybody meets their goal, goes back to their parish. Personally, my own parish here in Sioux City, Holy Cross, it's a big fundraiser for us. We usually get 50 to 60,000 back in DA paybacks, and so in lieu of having to have our own annual appeal, we do it through the DAA, and now together as one. And Bishop made reference to the previous names. It used to be DDP 1976. I can remember my dad going house to house on DDP Sunday. So it has had its name for the past 50 plus or 50 some years. But anyway, the goal is based, the support or how we establish each parish goal is based on your ordinary income of the 2018 and 2019 year. And those financial reports were submitted to the parish accounting office, and so you have a pro rata share of that. So that really is kind of how the individual parish goals are set. Moving on, Susan, we can go to the next slide if you want. That kind of gives you a little flavor of what makes up the diocesan budget. Our annual budget is 4.5 million. Of that, if you can see in the middle there, Cathedraticum, which is our tax to our parishes, and then the annual appeal makes up 38% of our annual budget. So it's a significant component of our budget. But Bishop doesn't have a parish to rely on, so all of you make up that parish. And I think sometimes we get a little bit in the silo vision where we're individual parishes, but we are one church of the Diocese of Sioux City. And I hope sometimes we kind of get lost in that thought process. So that's a little bit of a quick overview of what the financials is. And I don't, everybody can get lost in financials and get tired of listening to them. So I kind of leave it that. This puts things a little bit more in numbers for how we support it. So of that 742,000 is from Cathedraticum and 938 from the TAO. So I'd open it up for questions. Susan, anything I left out? I didn't attend the last meeting, so sometimes I forget some of the important information you want me to share.
No, if anyone has any questions, you can share them now, or even if through this call you think of some things that you'd like to ask, please just write them down, and we can always do that at the end as well.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the next screen and talk. Royce, Diane kind of went through this a little bit, talking about the paybacks. I don't know if you want to go ahead and talk about that a little bit.
Well, again, I think this is just a bit of a summary of how our parishes have done. And this is a new slide to me, so I'm going to get myself up to speed. But you can see the paybacks. The times of the payback doesn't change: December, March, and June. That's pretty much static. You can see the types of the paybacks and how much they've been. So I think that's self-explanatory in that respect. Shortfalls, obviously, at the end of the day, at the conclusion in June of 2021, if you don't meet the STAS support goal, then you will be billed for the balance. So again, those are kind of just some highlights from the 1920 together as one proposal. And I think You know, Susan pointed out, or maybe Bishop did, it's a challenging time of year when you go through COVID and people aren't in church. It becomes a little bit more challenging. And I know all of you are faced with challenges in this regard. But in the same breath, I think there's been a lot of people that have been generous as well. So I don't want to be always focusing on the poor part of the world or what's going wrong. We've had a number of parishioners who've stepped up, and my own parish, an example again. I think our income has maintained, which is tremendous, and we got to continue to think about that. And I think as human beings, when things are down, we do step up, and I think this is what kind of environment we're living right now. So.
Okay. Let me go on to the next slide. And again, this is just a really quick breakdown of the financial structure. And I will make sure and send this PowerPoint out to our pastors after each call. I usually send it out and they can share it with teams. But just what we talked through here, the net parish ordinary income is used for calculating goals at 4.3% to cathedraticum, 5.4 TAO. There are built-in collars for maximum increases and decreases. And I don't know if Royce wants to comment on that after I get through this list, but I know there are some parishes even right now that have asked about some increases, and those don't go up past a certain level. So maybe Royce can comment on that in a minute. Again, a parish keeps any fund over their diocesan support goal, and then parishes are billed if they have not met their goal, which is we call a shortfall. So Royce, I don't know if you want to talk about those built-in collars really quick.
Yeah, that related to the cathedraticum, and for everybody's, just to point, after 23 years, you've kind of experienced a lot of different things. When I first came, cathedraticum was a multiple of criteria. Well, canon law says cathedraticum must be based on ordinary income of a parish. And so we converted back, and gosh, I'm not sure, 15 years ago, back to how it was supposed to be calculated. Well, what happens when you change the formula, or the criteria, excuse me, as well, you have people that have been out of sync. And so we still aren't to final numbers where we're truing it up. So certain parishes were taxed too much and certain parishes weren't taxed enough. And so we did put collars in, and I'm going to be a little cautious. Diane does all the work on this, but you could not go up more than 7.5%, or you could not go down more than 1%. So we're still working on balancing that out. And so it may be a while yet. And now with different parish groupings, it becomes even more complicated. So it's one of those things we're going to do our best to maintain and make sure people aren't adversely affected by changes in that cathedraticum formula. So that was as simple as answer as I could give without getting too complicated.
Okay, thanks, Royce. As Bishop mentioned earlier, we did send out your personalized parish team guide a couple weeks ago, right at the beginning of August. And those are basically for your team to use for the Together as One appeal. And when you open that up, you will see that you have your parish picture or logo in there. It has your personal goals for your parish. And then it goes into a lot of the marketing information that you can use month by month. If you were on a team last year and as a pastor, you may think this is the same exact information you got last year, but we actually revamped a lot of it. It may look similar, but the information is different in that we note that the COVID environment is here, that there are some different ways that you can talk about the appeal, and we understand that there's limited seating at Mass, and so there has to be some creative ways to kind of talk about the appeal, to market the appeal, especially if people aren't grabbing bulletins and things like that. A lot of it, has to maybe be done through phone calls, through social media, online, on your website, those sorts of things. The first thing we need to say is that parish lay leadership is really critical to the success of any appeal. The pastor cannot do it alone and really needs a good support system to go out there and talk to people and to get the word out and help market the appeal as much as possible. We talk about different ways that that can be done in that guide. Clear-cut information about how the money is spent from the appeal is always really good to share. People want to know, where am I spending my money on? What is this for? We've offered some of those on our website, which I'll show in a little bit. But if you've used the money that you've gotten over your goal for some tangible things at the parish, it's always good to share that, or what you're expecting to do this next year. We can help create marketing materials that reflect your parish. So often we may send out generic kind of social media images or bulletin images that you can place online or in your bulletin or what have you. But if you would like them personalized with your parish logo and you really don't have anyone that can do that for you, we're happy to do that. Another thing that's good is to talk, when you're talking about the appeals, it doesn't always have to be so financially focused. It's more about us coming together to support our Catholic faith and our church and our diocese, and that this is something that we can do to give back for our faith and all the things that the church has given to us. And sometimes people receive that a little bit better rather than ask for money. And information about presenting material in the COVID environment we are living in is all included in that guide, as I mentioned. And like I said, I'm going to send this out, but we've offered these communication strategies several times, and I know that many pastors are using things like My Parish app. If you have a website that's just not very functional, eCatholic is something that we've offered out as a resource for many pastors, and I know that many of our parishes already have an eCatholic website. That's what the diocese website is. It's very easy to use, and for a parish, it's really cost effective. And then Flocknote is an email template, something like Constant Contact or MailChimp is much like that, but Flocknote is religious in feeling and based, and they know the Catholic faith. So if you call them, they're not going to be like, how do you spell diocese or things like that. They understand, and that's the same with eCatholic. And all of these things, in working in conjunction, are just another way to get the word out to your parishioners on what's going on from day to day. I know I also am a member of Holy Cross, and I think that I get a notification every single day from my parish app. And that's kind of nice. You're able to reach out to your parishioners every single day, even if it's just a prayer for the day. So that's something that you might want to look into. And these are all links that kind of go through what each of these is about. So again, I will send this out. You can take a look at those. Kickoff weekend is September 19th and 20th this year. It's a little bit later than most years, not much, but we have the Bishop's Fundathon for Catholic Schools on September 13th. So we didn't really want to compete with that or confuse people on what was what. So that will be the weekend that it will be shared at masses that it's starting, and then the mailer that we're offering out to parishioners will come after that. So within a week or two. I'm sure that you watched the news. The mail is a situation right now that sometimes is a little later than we'd like. And so we're going to do the best we can to get it out that same week after the talks at Mass. And before we go on to any other information, we can take questions now if there's any.
I have a question, if you can hear me.
Okay.
I'm Susan Lane. I'm from St. Joseph's in Greene County. If we do more like just a group fundraiser where people can just give cash at the event or whatnot, is that okay? Because then it wouldn't necessarily be attributable to the specific parishioner, and I just didn't know how you deal with that on your end.
So a fundraiser that would go toward the appeal is what you're saying?
Yes. But then if people are just giving cash at the time, then it obviously wouldn't be attributable to particular parishioners. So I didn't know if that was okay.
I don't know that I've had that question before. Alexa, do you have any? She might be able to answer this better than me.
Sometimes we do a second, or some of the parishes do a second collection.
Mhm.
And then what we do is we put it to the parish's record, and then that's how it'll show up as giving your parish credit. So it won't
Okay.
go to the individual
Right.
donors, it'll go to the parish.
Yeah, because we were going to do a couple of rounds of second collections just before COVID, or I guess right just after COVID sort of hit. So we didn't ever get to do that. But we were a little bit unclear on how to, I guess, I mean, maybe Amy knows, but a little bit unclear on how to document it and make sure that that was okay with you guys, since it wasn't going to be attributable.
Yeah, we've had some parishes that do that. The Hispanic parishes with Hispanic populations, they do a lot of second collections.
Okay.
So
Great, thanks.
Susan, that was a great question. We always take money, so we will never turn that away, one way or another.
I know we always take it. I just wanted to make sure how we're attributing it is correct. So that's great. But yeah, it would probably be just as similar as a second collection. So that's fine.
The one thing I'd point out, Susan, if you've already met your diocesan support goal, you just will put it in your own checking account because you've met your goal meeting us, and we would just send it back to you. Does that make sense?
It does.
So if you've met your parish, I mean the diocesan support goal, then the balance comes back to you. So if that makes sense.
Struggle with those goals, so we're trying to think creatively about how to, get people to give.
No, that's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. As a group, it's always better to do that sometimes. You get people more excited about it in some respects, yes.
And there's your pastor now. We can see him. Good job, Father Jerry.
Okay, I'm trying to share, which I usually never have trouble with, but of course today I'm having a little trouble. So let me try to get to, I'm trying to share my, the diocesan website page, and I usually don't have any trouble with this, but if there's any other questions, we could take them now, and then I'm gonna just continue to just see if I can make this work. If I can't, then I'm just gonna have to talk through it. Oh, here we go. Sorry.
May I interject something here?
You bet.
I'm being egged on by a former parochial vicar of mine, whose name is Father David Esquiliano. But with respect to Royce's suggestion, we send you, we just put in our account anything over the diocesan goal, but then that will be counted as part of our ordinary income. So it actually is better for us to send everything we get to you. In fact, I'm trying to convince all my parishioners to give only to TAO, so we have no income. Anyway.
He is correct there.
Yeah,
You found that loophole. You're right.
You discovered us with the help of the canon lawyer, Father Tim.
Okay, moving right along, I finally found my screen here. I just didn't scroll down far enough, so here we go. I just wanted to take you through the Together as One web page because we have updated everything. And so if you haven't been on it lately, I just wanted to show you kind of how to navigate that page. So off the diocesan front page, you just hit giving. And this is really where all of the funds that we work on are placed. So you can see a lot of different things here, Bishop's Fund of Fund, Bishop's Circle, etc. And then you can click on Together as One. On the web page, you can see there's some information there just to kind of offer about Together as One, and it's related to the right now with the COVID environment. And so if you ever have any questions from someone about what is the appeal and why are we doing it, we offered that text there so that you can offer that to someone that may have questions. When I click on the case statements, these are the case statements are just the mailers that are going to go out in September after the kickoff weekend. What these are just information for your parishioners about what the appeal supports, and we highlight several different areas here. And then what we did this year is we designed these by deanery. So you can see that each one has a little bit of different pictures, quotes from priests from that deanery. And the text is the same, but the pictures are different. So it's something that parishioners can look at and say, oh, I know that church, I know that school, I know those people. So that's kind of why we decided to do it that way. So you can kind of see how that works.
Susan, I know there was a mistake that we discovered last time. Did you fix that?
Yep,
There was
right
something
away.
that was
Yeah, we just
switched
had
around.
a repeated deanery case statement, but we got that fixed right away.
Great.
On the gift impact button, you can see that there are these images with text. So we talk about Catholic Charities, Bishop's Education Fund, the Office of Human Resources, Safe Environment Training, the Office of Evangelization, and our new dedicated pro-life staff member. So each of these images, if you right click on them, you can save them out. You can also copy, and you can use these for your own use. So if you want to put one in the bulletin, you want to put them on the website, you want to share them on social media, those are ready to go. And this is kind of what I'm talking about when I say you want to personalize for your own parish. These are sorts of things that we, maybe not the same message, but it's something that we could put together for you, or even add your logo or something like that. All of the parish goals are listed on this page. So if anyone is looking for the goals and you don't have your guide available, those are all available here. And then, as I mentioned, the parish team guide. Now the one that's on here is just generic. It doesn't have personalized goals or anything like that. But it has all of the same information on marketing. Things like who you should have on your team. The team coordinator really doesn't have to be the pastor. In fact, a lot of times it helps to ease their load if there's someone else that can coordinate meetings and help them work on different things that need to be done throughout the month for the appeal. So that's really up to your team, but that's just something to think about. Marketing, so this is someone that really would have good communication skills. They have the ability to work on social media. They're not worried about that. They would get in front of different people and talk. That's something that is really helpful. The website, obviously this might be a staff member or a volunteer, it just depends, but it's really important to keep your websites up to date. And obviously right now that's vitally important with all changes that are going on. Donor relations is just someone that does not have any trouble calling somebody and asking them about what they're going to do for the appeal, maybe even just having a one-on-one if it's safe, that kind of thing. So those sorts of things like that under donor relations. The time commitment really is, this shouldn't be a part-time job for anyone. It should be just a couple hours here and there during the week that you can put into it. It may not even need to be that much, but it depends on kind of what's going on too. This talks a lot about your goals here, and you would have personalized information there on your guide. And then we go into just some things that you can use, like sharing your progress, sample mass announcements on that. We create these thermometer images almost every week for you, and so you can use those on a weekly, monthly basis if you want to, when we send those out in email to the teams. And then we really go into strategies. This is kind of even a worksheet that you can use together, how you're gonna work on the appeal. Sorry for my phone ringing. And then the next page goes into what's happening at the diocesan level every month. So just so you know what we're doing. And then it goes into the checklist for you each month. So you can use these checklists at your team meetings and say, okay, what would we be doing this month? Does this work, or do we want to try something different? And then at the bottom, we even offer prayers of the faithful to use at Mass, bulletin announcements, altar announcements, social media ideas. So you can go through all of that together month by month, kind of see where you should be at. At the very end of this guide, there's a lot of information about social media, some of our favorite resources and things to use. I'm sure most of you have a team member that's very familiar with some or all of these. Some of the lingo, if you're just kind of not sure of all of that, just some information that you can look at. And then we offer our favorite resources, things like USCCB, some of the Facebook pages that might be helpful, Diocese of Sioux City Catholic, Bishop's page, so on and so forth. The Twitter ones are right here. And then some of our favorite web pages and extra social media ideas. So there's really a lot of information in here. I'd really say it's a good idea to go through with your team when you first meet and kind of see how people's roles are going to work out. And then at the very end, there is a lay leader sample talk. So if someone would like to get up and talk, and honestly, right now, that might even be recording it on a video and sending it out that way, or posting it on a Facebook page or something like that, instead of at Mass, but that's up to you too. You could show it at Mass through a video if someone didn't really want to come in person, but at this time, you know, it might be more helpful to use social media. So that is the guide. And then on the page, going back to the page, ways to give is at the bottom. You can give online. So this is always a resource you can offer people, and that's becoming far more popular these days. You can mail a check. And then over here is something just to highlight: stock and grain transfer. We do take stock and grain. If you've never done this before for the appeal or just in general, I would definitely read through these forms and how-tos here. And Diane Donnelly is an excellent resource for this. And you just want to make sure that you do it the right way, and make sure that ownership is with the diocese to sell the grain, so that people don't sell it first and then come at us and say, here's my donation from this grain sale. So because that's not going to do them any good for what they're trying to do for tax liability. Then there's a video here. You can actually copy the link and you can share it on social media or email it out or whatever you would like to do that highlights some of the reasons why Together as One is important for our diocese. Bishop's prayer that we used earlier is at the bottom if you ever need that. And then of course our contact information here at the Stewardship and Development Office. So we're always willing to answer questions, or if you want a donor to call us about a specific question, that's fine. And that's pretty much all I have. So if other people have questions, I'd be willing to answer them. Yeah.
Susan, this is Father Collison. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine.
You said before this was mailed out. Was it emailed out or was it hard mailed out?
You mean the case statements that we're mailing out?
Well, this and just what you went through.
So this, we will email out the PowerPoint presentation after this call. We also,
Okay.
I'm recording this right now. So
Okay.
if somebody needs the recording, that's fine.
That's fine. But also what you mentioned before that, you know, had our goals in it and all of those kinds of things. Was that hard mailed or emailed? We can't find an email.
Okay, I'll email it.
Get a hard mail, so.
Okay, no, those were emailed out in a PDF. So I'll
Okay.
be sure to, after this call, I'll email it to you.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Are there any other questions?
Susan,
Yep.
no, we did not get that PDF. This is Deb Franzenberg. We did not get the PDF here in Boone either.
Okay. Good to
Okay.
know. Good to know.
So for Sacred Heart and Madrid, we would need both.
Yep, I'll send you both.
Thank you.
You bet. I'll do it right
This
after.
is Father Erpelding.
Okay.
This is Father Erpelding. I'm looking at it on my computer right now. It was sent 8/3 if you want to look for it. It was sent on 8/3. That's when mine appeared.
And I sent them all the same day. So, but if for some reason they went into a junk file or quarantine or something, I'll try it again. If you don't get it, then this afternoon, then let me know, because for some reason it's just not going through.
Yeah, we did not get anything on 8-3. So, and I've looked, I think, in junk mail. So I don't know where it went. Thank you.
Out in space. Okay, well, I'm gonna turn it over to Bishop Nicholas to end the call at this time.
All right, thank you again, Susan. You know, in the past, we used to treat you all to a nice dinner. We decided that's just not that fruitful anymore. Last year we
Sure.
I'm sorry that you're hungry, Father Craig. But last year we tried to visit each deanery and have a meeting there. That was good. We got to see each other face to face, but this is also just as good to be able to see you. So there are good things, some good things that come out of COVID. I see that Father Friedrichsen wants me just to send him cash for dinner. Then I'd have to count that. You'd have to count that as ordinary income. So anyway, go have a good lunch, and thanks for your attention, and thanks for your help. May Almighty God bless you, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bishop. Thank you, Susan.
Thanks.
Good to see you all.
Yep. Good to see you.